Hi guys, it's me again, Charles Norman from AthleticSOS.com. So normally I'm doing these, and you guys see the title, and I think it's a little arrogant. It's not necessarily that you're doing it wrong, but I think you're doing it the traditional way. You're trying to get an athletic scholarship, and you're struggling, or you're not getting all of the leads that you want, or things just don't seem to be working and going in your favor. And so what I'm going to do here, and this is my promise to you guys, if you watch all the way through this, it'll be one of my longer videos. I'm going to explain what the problem is, what you guys are doing wrong, and I'm going to give you a solution for it. And then I'm going to show you the solution I've created. And then at the end of that, I'm going to make you two offers to help you get where you want to be, to help you get an athletic scholarship. Okay, so that's my promise. So let's go right away into what you're doing wrong, what the problem is right now. So the way the system works right now is pre-technology, if you really think about it. You're trying to get discovered, right? You're trying to get exposure. You're trying to get the coaches to see you play because you believe you have the skill set and the desire to play at the next level, at the collegiate level. Whatever sport you're in, that's your goal. And so in the past, because of the lack of technology and communication, there's coaches all over the country that are looking for you. Trust me, they're all looking for you. If you've got the grades and you have the desire to play, there's coaches that want you. They're dying to find you. But there's been no way to connect those two. Just think, you're a college coach. What do you want? You want a kid that wants to play for you, has the skill set to play at your level, whatever it is, D1, D2, D3, NAIA, junior college, whatever. We need players. I'm a coach. I need players. And then the final thing is, are you qualified to even play? And I've told you guys over and over again, the number one reason most kids that have the skill set to play at the next level don't play has nothing to do with their skills. It has to be that they're not qualified. But you can even get around that. So right now, the way people do these things is they go to these combines and showcases and viewing tournaments, and they're sort of cold called, and they're waiting to be discovered, right? You're gonna put your skills on display, and these coaches are gonna discover you, and then they're gonna start sending you letters, and then they're gonna start recruiting you, and then that's the way you're gonna get there. And you know what? In a sense, that's been working a little bit. But year after year after year, kids get left out, right? Because you have this small window, right? If you're a freshman, you've got freshman, junior, sophomore, junior, and by your senior year, if you haven't gotten something locked up, you're in pretty bad shape. So that's the way it's gone now. Now, in the middle of that became this recruiting services. And to me, a recruiting service is almost a no-brainer. Everybody thinks I'm against recruiting services, but if you really think about it, recruiting service could charge you $500, $1,000, $1,500. Heck, they could charge you $5,000 because college is so expensive. If they can get you money more than you're spending to find a college that'll take you as an athlete, then it's worth it. Plus, you get to play your sport at the next level. So don't ever think that going to one of the recruiting services, and I don't really care what they're charging you. I think they're kind of overcharging you. But the reason they have to charge so much is because it's so time consuming. They haven't spent a lot of time on you. So I'm never against the recruiting services in the sense that they're sort of gouging you, that you could do it yourself. And if you want to go your own route, you can, but 9 times out of 10, you're doing it wrong. So that's the second piece, right? You go to the recruiting services. Because you're not a high blue chip D1 type player, there's not a lot of schools coming after you. And what you start to find out is, yeah, you're getting some letters and there seems to be some interest, but because you're not a high D1 level player or a high level player, then those schools also have 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 other players they're looking at, and you're just on their radar. And so for you to get from number 8 to number in their top 3 at the very least to give you the best chance, then you don't know where you are on that list. And you can't ask, and they'll probably tell you, but they won't give you, you're in our top 3 or your top 2 unless you are in the top 3, top 2, or the number 1 person they're after. You can kind of feel it, but not really, because you've never done this before. And so the funny thing to me about all of this is you would never do this in any other aspect of your life. You don't go looking for a job by trying to just broadly hope somebody discovers you. Like you're working here and they're going to discover you. You're working at the local movie theater or you're working at the discount retailer and you're hoping to get a job in some sort of corporate office type environment. No, what you do is you go in, you learn about all the companies that have jobs, that have the jobs that you want, and then you you apply to them. You send out an application. You try to get an interview. You have to be proactive, and that's what we want to do, right? We want to be proactive. So I've kind of laid out. So here is, without you even going any further in here, here's what you need to do if you want to give yourself the best chance of getting an athletic scholarship, right? The first thing you need to do is to find every single program out there in the country, and there's so many schools and colleges out there that have your sport, that your sport is part of what they do. You need to find out if you qualify for them academically. If you qualify to go to that school academically and they have your sports, you've knocked out two of the most important pieces. And then the final piece, and this is the one that you need to do, you need to get someone in your life. I don't care if it's your head coach at high school, if your travel club coach, if it's your trainer, somebody with some credibility in the sport that a college coach would listen to that person. You need to get them to open the lines of communication for you. You need them to make the first call. You need them to send your profile out. You need them to be your credibility. And if you can get those three things, you can find all of the programs in the country at your level. If you're a D2 kid, a D3 kid, NAIA, if you didn't do anything right in high school and you need to go to a junior college, find all the junior colleges that have your sport, right? And you can play at that level, you're still good. Okay, and then your next thing is to make sure academically, obviously with the JCs, that's not as big as a problem. But if it's for the for any other kind of college or university, make sure academically you qualify to go to that school, and then get your credible person, your advocate, that one person that can open up the doors for you. Because from that college coach's point of view, that's a trifecta. I've got a kid that wants to play for me, it can play at my level, is academically qualified to play there, and I'm ready to take a look at you. I just need to make sure you can play now. And then I'm listening to whatever this coach or this credible your advocate is. I'm listening to them, and if they give me something valid, then you just saved me a bunch of work. So it's out there and it's available for you. So now what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go and show you the product that I've created that solves all of this for you. Okay, and I'm going to show it to you, and then after that I'm going to come back and then I'm going to make you my offer, okay, and try to see if we can get you where you need to be. All right, guys, so let's go take a look at the product I've created to show you that you can do all of the things that I just talked about before. All right, and then I'll come right back.
All right, guys, so let's go pretty quickly here in this part. So this is the software. It's called Athletic SOS. And you can see I'm on the parent portal. And so this is the software in my system that I would actually give you, and you could be doing this at home. So I think that's really important. Now, if you go to the Athletic Scholarships R Us, they're not going to let you do this. They have a different version of this software that they use, and then they'll give you some schools. But I want to show you really quickly how cool this thing is. We'll use your GPA. So in this case, we're going to use a female athlete. Her name is Jane Doe. This is Jane's basic information, her GPA, ACT and SAT scores, and I'm not going to go too far into that, but these are pretty much average scores. What we're going to do is we're going to pick a sport for Jane. Let's say Jane is a volleyball player. I'm going to pick volleyball for her. So let's go down and find volleyball, and you can notice we have all the sports in here. We're going to say Jane lives on the West Coast, but what we're going to do is we're going to go look on the East. No, let's go down South. So we're going to look down South, and we're going to make Jane a D2 level player. She's got D2 level schools. She's a good player, but not quite D1. Maybe she doesn't have the size or the speed for her position or whatever's going on there. But she's a D2 level kid. We're going to pick the South because there's nobody in the South. No D2 school in the South is sending their coaches or scouts all the way over to the West Coast to find a D2 kid. What's really happening is that the D2 schools on the West Coast, and probably if you're in Southern, Northern, or Central California, those schools that are within that area, within driving distance, they'll come down and take a look at you and try for you. And the reason this happens is not because they don't want you. It's because, A, they're not sure you even want to go that far to play for them, right? You're leaving your area, your home, your comfort level. And then 2, they don't know anything about you. They don't even know you exist. So it'd be very tough for them to find you and then convince you to come out to play for them. But for you, it's the other way around. You're like, hey, guys, just come after me and let me decide. We're going to help you find those schools. So you can find, go by the region. And then you can go by the state too. If you have a family in another state somewhere. See, this is all the reasons I keep saying you should be the ones trying to find all the schools you qualify for instead of going the other way around. But just to speed this up real quick, we're going to go ahead and look for the schools. These are the D2 schools in the South based on that SAT, ACT, and the GPA and the D2 level that this young lady qualifies for. What we want to do is, and the schools are all in alphabetical order, and you can look and you can see there's at least 12 sets of schools here. If I just kept on going through this list, you can see that there's 12 sets of schools here in alphabetical order that they qualify for. And there's no way you've heard of any of these schools. I can almost guarantee you've never heard of Coker College or Davis and Elkins College and Eckerd College, or maybe you have Elizabeth City State University. You've never heard of these schools. Just admit it. Okay? But you qualify for these schools. They have a volleyball program. And now what we need to do, if you come over here in this cool little area over here for you, this is my decision assist list. So I'm trying to help you find the right school. So let's take a look at this. So if you see blue as the color here, it means you're in the top 25% of the student athletes that were, or the students, not student athletes, but the students that were led into this school the previous year, the freshmen that were accepted into this school the previous year. That means academically you're in the top 25, plus you're an athlete, you're the golden child. They want you if you can play at that level. If you see green, you're in the 50 to 75 percentile of the student athletes, the students that were accepted into that university the previous year. And if you see yellow, you're in the bottom 25, but don't panic. You're an athlete. That may be the people that got in there. That might be the bottom 25 that got in. And then if you see white, for that college or university, it's not a big deal. They don't use your SAT, ACT scores as criteria. They use other factors in accepting student athletes or students in general. So that's a great thing for you to have. But let's go a little bit further here. Let's go to this Coker College, because I've never heard of it. And let's look in details. And so if you look in details, you can see we give you a little bit more information, and we give you contact information for the coach. And then we give you a link to the school, we give you a link to their athletic page, and we give you a link to their sports page. And the link to the school is really important, because now we want you to go in. Do they have your major? How does the school look? How does it feel? Exactly where it is it? You can look up, use Google Maps or whatever and find out exactly where the school is. And does it fit your personality and who you are? Remember, it's really important that you find a school that fits who you are so you can stay there. So this should be a school that you might go to even if you didn't play sports there. Okay, so that's the kind of vibe you're looking for. And then you want to go and look at the sport and see some other things. So I don't want to get too far into the weeds here. And then at some point you just add this as one of your schools that you're interested in, and you save it in a list. So I'm going to come out of this a little bit now, because the goal here is not so much to show you how to use the software. There's plenty. I have links to tell you everything on how to use the software. But the goal is to find a big list of schools that you qualify for, and then I want your coach or your trainer. Remember, we talked about this before. If you're in a specific organization, we'll talk about a little bit more in the video follow up to this. They're going to go and make that first communications with the coach on your behalf. And they're going to be your advocate. So your high school coach, your your club travel ball coach, a trainer that has some credentials, they're going to make that first initial communication. And that's the difference between what we do and what everyone else does. Okay, so I'm going to leave out of here. I probably showed too much of this for the competition out there, quote unquote. But this is what I want to put in your hands. And this is why I keep saying you can find every school you qualify for, and now the game has just changed. You want to let them know you're interested in them, and you've never heard of any of those schools, right? Okay, so let's go out of this, and let me go back and make my offer to you.
Okay, we're back. Hopefully that all makes sense to you. So that is software that I created because I was hearing the same things that you guys are going through, and I get it. It's how do I do all that stuff you're talking about, because it doesn't make sense. So I've just shown you exactly how to get it done. So what's my offer to you? When I created this software, my goal was not to become some sort of recruiting service person. Really, I just don't have any interest in that. It's very, very tough, and somebody has to really be dedicated to it. But what I did do is I created the software, and then I started licensing it out. So it's being licensed by some recruiting services. Now, I'm not allowed to say who they are for the most part, but there is one recruiting service called Athletic Scholarships R Us. And the reason I'm going to kind of send you towards them is because if you don't have that person in your life, that advocate that can help you out, they can do that for you. Now, they're not going to let you use the software. Remember when I was showing you the demo, I was saying for my system, the ones that I give to the high schools and the big, the ones I give to the high schools and the big sports clubs, I let the parents and the student athletes' families use the software. And which is unheard of. No one else is doing that. And the reason I do that is because I want to make sure you find a school that fits you. Just because all those other things that they have the sport and you qualify to go to the school, you need to take a look. Where is the school? What part of the country is in? You know, I've already talked about a lot of that when I showed you the demo. But it's really important to me that you don't come back home because you chose the wrong school. Now, if there's other reasons, that's fine. But I see year after year, I see kids come back because they were chosen by some school. They were picked instead of them doing the picking. I want you to pick the schools that you want to look at you instead of having them send you a letter and you're trying to prove yourself to them. All right, so Athletic Scholarships Are Us, and don't worry, I'll put a link on the back end of this thing, or I'll show it at the end of the video so you can go to them. Tell them Charles Norman told you about it, and what they will do is they will give you at least 25 schools that you qualify for, and then you can work with them further. They charge, and everyone that's licensed from me has to stay within a dollar amount. I'm not, you know, I don't run their companies, but I did say if you want to use my software, let's stay reasonable. So I don't know what they're charging right now. I know what they're charging at the time I'm making this video, but I'm not going to throw that out in case they have to raise their prices for whatever reason. But they're reasonable. I'll put it that way. So if you go to them, let them know Charles Norman is the guy who created the software, whatever, is the one that kind of told you about it, and you're looking to get some help because you don't have anybody right now that's helping you. So the second one is if you go to athleticsos.com/coach, if you have your high school team coach, your club team coach, for the clubs, I do need to have them have multiple teams in order for this to work right. If they go there and they decide to send me on the front page of that website, you'll see a place where they can ask for more information. They ask for more information, we'll contact them, and if you have sent them to us, I'll make sure you get a free account. Does that sound fair to you guys? That means you won't have to pay for anything, and we'll make sure you get a free account, and then we'll set your club or high school team up absolutely free. And so that's my way of giving back. That's the best thing that I could do for you guys right now. And because I use a high school or your club coach, I fixed those problems you were having before, right? I'm going to give you the software. You're going to go and find the schools yourself so your coach or your club or travel coach doesn't have to go through so much to try to do for each student. There's just too many kids. And that's why everybody gets mad at the high school coach or the club coach because they're not helping them. But they can only do so much. They're coaching a team, they're running plays, they got to do the administrative work. That's a lot of work. So you guys go out and find the schools, and then you come back because we set this program up for you, and you say, hey, okay, I found the schools that I need, that I qualify for. I just need you to get me started, and then I'll take it over from there. And so that's what we want to do. So those are my two offers. Athletic Scholarships Are Us. If you're an individual and you don't have anybody in your corner that's going to help you out, I'll put the website on at the end of this. Go to them, let them know who I am. I don't think they're going to give you a discount or anything, but at least, I don't know, maybe it'll give you something. Maybe it'll give you an extra perk. I don't know what they're going to do for you. And then the second part is if you have a coach that's willing to do this for you and help you out, let's get them set up in the system, and I'll do it for free. If they just let me know that somebody saw this video, it came from Charles Norman, and we saw their video, and I sat through all of this nonsense, and I would like to get a friend. If they mention your name, they'll give me, I'm going to give them a code to give to the person who brought them to us. So make sure you get that code from them, and then you guys are good to go. So that's pretty much it, guys. I just want to do one more thing, if it's okay with you guys. I want to show you something. So do you guys remember this? Remember back when it all started? These are just a couple of dads out here with their kids, or there's some coaches, and they're working with their kids, and this is what, to me, it's all about. This is the cool part of all of this. And this is what it's all about for me. You started off there, you've done all this hard work, and you have the skill set to play at the next level. And it's my honor and my goal to get you there if that's what you want to do. And I'm going to tell you guys something. People will say negative things about athletes, you know, the dumb jock thing and all that. But if you guys have the grades on top of everything else you've had to go through to play sports, and only so many people can play, right? You look at your high school. You look at the basketball team and then the volleyball team, and so only so many kids can make that squad, and you made it. And then you have the skill set to play at the next level too. And when you get to the next level and you play, trust me, it's a whole different environment. It's a lot more work, but it's 10 times more fun. You're even that much more special. So that's what it's all about out there, guys. And I want to get you there. So take a look at what's at the end of the video. Go ahead and either way you want to go ahead and do that. And then I'll get you guys set up and we'll just go from there. All right, guys, I really appreciate you taking the time out. I know this was a little longer, but if you went through it, it was worth it, I hope, at the end. I want to give you guys a free access if I can. And if not, if you don't have anybody in your life, go through Athletic Scholarships R Us, and then they can help you as an individual, and you don't have anybody in your corner right now. All right, that's it. Best of luck to you. Stay in the game. All right, talk to you later. Bye.